G'day guys, my name is Wildcard and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching my content, I really do appreciate it. It's that time of the year again. The worst time of the year for me. I hate Christmas. I truly do hate Christmas. The best day of the year is Bloodless Little Cup Day, okay? Now, for the rest of you who do celebrate the holiday season, Christmas, whatever you believe in, happy days to you, mate. Happy days to you. But for me, this is the time to think back for the last 24 months and think about what were the highlights, what were the lowlights, who was the best player. Let's answer those questions right now. First up, we have the best try of the year. The try of the year, World Rugby says it was France scoring try against, I don't even know, was it Scotland? Was it Wales? I don't know, because it was not that good of a try for me to remember. But this is a try I jumped off my C4 when I saw it. This was Wallabies versus the All Blacks. First game of the Bloodless Little Cup 2021 at Eden Park, the Black Fortress. Wallabies down 3 points to 9. 40-meter line out inside the All Blacks half. Let's see what happens, okay? If I get copyrighted, what's this? Oh, over the top! Over the top! Callaway on the inside! Callaway on the inside, boy! That is a set piece I have never seen before. And scoring a try against the mighty All Blacks in New Zealand. First game of the Bloodless Little Cup. Oh, couldn't get better than that, boys. That is my try of the year for 2021. Number 2, the match of the year, however, is France versus Wales. You guys know how much I hate the Welsh. And this was the match, the final game in the Six Nations 2021. Wales had a chance to win the Grand Slam against France. And Wales was literally leading France like 5 points or something. Leading France, and they were literally 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left from winning a Grand Slam. And they lost it with a penalty awarded to France on the halfway point. And France kicked the ball out. You can just see it. They will score a try. They will score a try. And then France edged out Wales for a 30 points win. Completely broken Alan Wynne-Jones' dreams of winning another Grand Slam. His face at the end of the match was just, it looks so sad, which made me really happy. And yes, so Wales Grand Slam slipping away from the fingers. 30 seconds left. This was the match of the year for me. Now, next one up, we have the player of the year. Okay, now this was a difficult decision for me to choose. Whilst I thought Ibn Etzebeth has consistently been exceptionally well for the Springboks, I do feel like Etzebeth could be player of the year. But for me, I am a little bit biased because I do love some of the guys who do the hard works and don't get credit for it. So my pick for player of the year is Ty Furlon. I know Will Rugby out there said player of the year was Bowden Barrett or something. Did they pick Bowden? Was it Bowden Barrett? Who was player of the year? Oh no, Anton Dupont was player of the year. But for me, you know, Anton Dupont is flashy. For me, it's the big men that do the hard yards, that allows the players to score tries, that are very underrated, not very talked about. I want to give my hat off to the people who do the hard work. And to me, the best hard head prop in the world right now is Ty Furlon. Outstanding performance for the Irish team in the Six Nations, leading to him selected to the starting hard head prop against the World Cup winning front rowers in South Africa in the Lions tour. Another outstanding performance there, and then coming out in the November internationals, more outstanding performances against the All Blacks, helping Ireland winning, his exceptionally good scrummaging, but by far the best hard head prop scrummager, really, really good support running, just knowing, like being able to provide that presence on the field, being able to know, provide that platform, being able to provide that running option for his backline as a tight head prop is exceptional. He was he was so good against the All Blacks. He made the All Blacks front rowers look like a tier below. Like he was quite, he outplayed his opposite number against the All Blacks quite significantly. I thought was very, very impressive. So Ty Furlong is my player of the year. Sure, he doesn't score many tries, but his performance to allow his team to perform well has been exceptional. Now, next one up, the team of the year. Now, this is a really difficult selection as well. So there are 3 teams on my top 3. Number 1, so the third in third place for me is Ireland. Ireland actually had a really good record this year. They had a really poor start in Six Nations, so losing the first 2 rounds by a tiny margin due to Johnny Sexton injury. After that, Ireland has just been building strength to strength and been undefeated since February. So Ireland is my number 3. Number 2 is New Zealand. New Zealand has been on the road, highest win percentage this year, played more games than any other team in World Rugby this year. They also only lost 3 games whilst they were just being away and exhausted. Really like taking the game to all the different continents around the world. And I thought New Zealand definitely deserved the number 2 spot for the team of the year. My number 1 team of the year, and edges ahead of New Zealand by just a hairline, is the Springboks. The Springboks, and that is because the Springboks won the Lions Test series. Such a monumental occasion against the best players in Europe, edging out the win. And even though they played at home, there was no fans, so they really didn't get that much, fanfare and home advantage in that regard. And they were, able to gut out a huge win against the Lions. That was a very spectacular performance by the Springboks. And throughout the season, the Springboks have been extremely consistent as well. Let me just get their stats up. Do I have it up? So the Springboks also extremely consistent throughout the season. And they had, did I have? Yeah, here, actually got it here. Extremely consistent. They only blemish is against the Australians in Australia, and a final bit of loss against England in the last game. But after a very long season, very tough season, very consistent performance throughout the season, and just that solid set pieces was just spectacular to watch. So Springboks for me just edges ahead of New Zealand by a hairline because of their win against the British Irish Lions. Is the team of the year for me. Now, the next one is the most embarrassing moment of the year, and that is Noah Lolesio in the 3rd test against the All Blacks, missing a kick right in front of the goalpost when the All Blacks had 14 players on the field due to a red card to Jordie Barrett. And Noah Lolesio, this was absolutely horrendous. He had a really good Super Rugby season, to be fair, which did earn himself a spot at a starting number 10 jersey. I thought he did earn that, but his performance in New Zealand was poor, and then he came back to Australia. Home ground advantage. New Zealand was down to 14 players due to a red card, and Lolesio had an option to kick a goal right in front, and he missed. This was quite embarrassing. I tried to find footage for it, but I guess Rugby Australia doesn't want to show that too much to the world, but this was the most embarrassing moment in 2021. And then the second last award for me, the Coach of the Year. I think for me, this one hands down has to be Andy Farrell. Andy Farrell, he was able to lead Ireland, taking over the reins from Joe Schmidt, and many people thought Joe Schmidt basically picked the Irish team before the Rugby World Cup. Andy Farrell took what Joe Schmidt had done and taken it to the next step up. The Irish team has been undefeated since February 14th against France, and they just been yes, they just been undefeated since playing Italy 27th of February, actually. Since then, even beating the All Blacks, something that people didn't think that Andy Farrell was going to be able to achieve. He did it anyway. Very, very, very impressive by Andy Farrell. He was under a lot of criticism when the Irish team lost to France and Wales, and Judy Jonas-Sexton's injury, and he was under a lot of pressure. People were talking about, all sorts of stuff, him not being able to, doubting him being able to take the Ireland team to the World Cup, and then turning all of that around, undefeated since 27th of February 2021, the Ireland team. So to beat the All Blacks, to carry on what Joe Schmidt had left over, was very, very impressive. So Andy Farrell is my coach of the year. And finally, the most controversial, the man of the year, let's just call it, in rugby, in World Rugby, the man of the year in World Rugby is, Rassie Erasmus. As the director of rugby of South Africa, he did not qualify for me to be the coach of the year because technically he wasn't even available to coach at some of the games, like during the Rugby Championship, he wasn't even available for that. But him putting his gigantic balls on the line for the British and Irish Lions tour to help the Springboks get justice for referee decisions and to be able to, essentially, really put a lot of his own reputation on the line to help the Springboks getting across the line for that British and Irish Lions tour. I thought this was, very, very, worthy of applaud. I don't think any coach, any director of rugby around the world will do that. In fact, if you look at all the other directors of rugby around the world, the Australian director of rugby is getting fired. He's letting because they're making that position redundant in Australia to save money. The Irish one is being accused of overlooking the women's game. They basically have a petition from the women saying that they haven't been undermanaged. If you look at the England one, it's probably struggling with the finances. The New Zealand one, the New Zealand director of rugby is busy in trying to sell the All Blacks, the Americans, all these sort of things. All this director of rugby doing all the dirty jobs, and Rassie Erasmus, the only one who's made a real impact for his team. I thought that was most entertaining content of the year, to say the least. So that is my list for 2021. Let me know your thoughts in comments down below. Did I miss anything? Did you agree with my list? Who are your best picks for these sports? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching my video, guys. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys next week for the news. And for now, stay safe. Enjoy yourselves. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And see you guys next week. Cheers.